Lenn Woolston. I'm a writer, blogger, and nerd, and thanks for checking out my channel today. It is special because you're getting a bonus video of me because it's Tagged Tuesday. I was tagged by Marie Ventris to do the Fearless Writers tag, which was created by Kim Chance and Edward Gray, and so let's get to those questions now. Question number 1, lies. What is the biggest fallacy you're telling yourself with writing and being a writer? The lie that I have that's constantly swirling around this head of mine is that my writing's not good enough. I don't believe that lie every day, but there's just that fear that's associated where I kind of oh my gosh, is this true? So with that, that's one thing that I find where I'm usually in a slump when it comes to writing, and I question everything I just wrote, and I want to just start over and everything, and it's a lie. My writing's not that bad. Question number 2, starting new. Does the first draft scare you or motivate you? I love first drafts. I get so pumped and everything, and I just hit the ground running when it comes to just cranking out words. I am so good at drafting, it's the editing that scares me. I could do those first drafts no problem, write the end, celebrate, but then when it's oh crap, I have to go back and edit this thing and make it actually polished, that's where it kind of gets a little scary. Question number 3, roadblock. What's your number one obstacle stopping you from writing? I'm going to sum this up and just say excuses. I'm so good at creating excuses. I don't have enough time. I'm too tired. I don't even know where this story is going. All of those just boil down to their excuses that I give, and I am getting better at that by having more of a schedule of this is my writing time. I don't do it exactly where it's this time at night or this time in the morning, but I give myself okay, this is a time amount that you're committing to every single day, and that has been so helpful. Question number 4, how can you overcome the obstacle? I would highly encourage you that if you are somebody who is really good at sprinting, rather than it just being one chunk of time that you have to sit down and okay, for these 2 hours or 3 hours or however long, sitting in one session, I would instead just make it that you have, by the end of the day, you're going to have written for this amount of time. You don't even have to focus on the word count. But for me, as a busy mom, working, all of that, there are times where I literally only have 15 minutes, and so I kind of just crank out what I can in those 15 minutes. But if I have that as my daily goal, that's better than no words. So definitely make some kind of commitment that works for you, because you will see that having at least some words, even if they're crap at this point, are better than no words. Question 5, perfection. How can you challenge yourself to get past the perfectionism and procrastination trap? I have to tell myself all the time that somebody else's journey, somebody else's writing habits, all of that is going to be different than mine. I have to remind myself that on this path to publication, there are many paths that lead to the same destination. And what is working for somebody might work for me, but that's not always a guarantee. So I think just trying to nip in the bud that I need to not compare myself to other people is the right attitude for me to have. And so that's really something that I've been trying to work on this whole year. So it's been healthy so far, being able to just focus on my own lane, if you will, and just stay focused there and not get distracted by what everybody else is doing. Number 6, failure sucks. Ain't that the truth? How can you grow from a failure? I think instead of looking at the whole, whatever it is that the failure is being termed, instead of looking at the whole thing as a failure, I would instead focus on what you did right. So as you have all probably known, I'm not writing my first book. There have been other stories that I have written over the years, and they did not land onto the end result of finding an agent to publish. Do I consider them all failures? No, because I was able to learn from each of them. And so what I try to do is I try to pick out, okay, and this particular project, what was something that worked? And I could see that maybe it was the really good dialogue that I was able to put in that story, or maybe it was that I did really good world building. And also just kind of, especially those query trenches, knowing what worked in a query letter, what didn't, what worked in opening pages, and what didn't. And so from that, I've been able to grow as I try to spin it as to what is positive about it instead of all just the negative, because failure does suck. There's no way around that. But you could take that as a learning opportunity. Question number 7, rejection sucks too. Yeah, it does. How can you learn or grow from rejection? I can tell you this is something that has been super frustrating for me, just dealing with the rejection, because a lot of the rejection I have seen, or that the feedback I've gotten from agents on my work is, I'm a good writer, it's just not the story for them. And that is so hard to swallow, because it's like, well, what am I doing wrong then? Like, why don't you love this story? If you're saying I'm a good writer, why aren't you connecting with it? And I know there are so many of you out there who are under the same umbrella. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And I would say that we just kind of need to allow ourselves to be frustrated, to kind of just experience that, and then move on from it. Maybe that project didn't work out, but that doesn't mean that your next one is also going to end up in a rejection. So just keep on going. But I would say allow yourself to sit in that frustrating moment so that you can just like vent out all of that pent up, like dealing with rejection, because it's totally normal and it will help you with the healing process of being rejected. Question number 8, create action. How do you keep moving toward your goals? I just try not to sit with idle hands. And I know that's something that I've mentioned before, but when it comes to writing, I always try to have multiple things going on. So it's once one story finishes and it's all out there, just waiting in the query trenches for replies, I work on another story. Even if it's just outlining so that I can kind of just get all these stories onto paper and to just keep moving, because that's something that I guess for me has been just a motivating factor, knowing that when I do get agented and when I do publish books, like you have to keep going. And that's kind of where I just am at with what I want in a career as a writer, because I'm not a one-trick pony and I have plenty of other stories. So if you're out there and you're in the query trenches and you're just in this agonizing waiting period, I would highly recommend that you work on something else. And it doesn't necessarily have to be writing related, but just have another project that you can put that focus into as you're waiting. Question number 9, new year, new outlook. If fear wasn't holding you back, what would you be doing right now to further your writing dreams? The one thing that I haven't done when it comes to just trying to find an agent is I haven't done an in-person pitch. And that's something that I'm not necessarily against. I just haven't put a lot of emphasis in going to all of these different conferences in order to pitch. On all of the writing conferences I've gone to thus far, it's mainly been to just go through the workshops and to learn more and, make relationships with other writers that are attending, but I haven't done an in-person pitch. And I can say that there's fear there, because you have to be just on it. You have to present yourself and your work, and that's something that I think would be a great next step for me in this new year if I just did it once. So follow me on social media to see if I stick to that and how it turned out. And the last question, question number 10, leap of faith. What is one thing you plan to do this year, even though it scares you? I'm doing it right now. If you haven't already known, I will put a link down in the description box as to what my current project is, because it is a writing project that is so out of my comfort zone, and it's scary. I'm having a real struggle with it as terms of just more confidence. And so, I've always presented myself as a sci-fi and fantasy writer because I just love them so much. But this story that I'm writing right now is a young adult contemporary story with some romance kind of in there as well. And that is just not what I thought I would be writing, but it's unfolding rather well, and it's showing me that this story, I think, was in me from like back when I was a teenager, and now it's starting to say, hey, it's my turn to tell the story. So I'm kind of just going with it for right now. And like I said, if you want more details about it, I will have my video down below where I kind of go over all of the details. And then you can also check out my website where I have a little blurb and you can see my aesthetic that I made. And yeah, go check that out. So there you have it. That is the Fearless Writers tag. I want to go ahead and just thank Marie for tagging me once again because you're awesome. And I will also have her channel down below in the description box because you should check her out. She is definitely a fearless woman. She's fierce. So go ahead and follow her. I'm going to take the opportunity to go ahead and tag a couple of you. And so I'm going to be tagging Alicia Lumen Strife and Sydney Bishop to also do this tag. But I am tagging each and every one of you who wants to do this, even if you don't have a YouTube channel. So on your blog, put it in your Insta stories, whatever it is that you want to do it, you have been tagged. I just want to say thank you so much for checking out my channel today. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss any of my videos. I normally post on Fridays, but Tuesdays I've kind of dedicated to when I get tagged to do writing tags. So thanks for checking that out. And for all of you, I do want to just give a special mention that this Friday's video is going to be a little special because I'm celebrating my 1 year of having a YouTube channel. So be sure to check that out. And until next video, bye!